What's going on, guys? This is GhostX and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the top 3 SMGs in Battlefield 6 Season 1 based on recommendations from myself and a lot of people in the community. I've got some really solid loadouts for you mixed with some gameplay, so sit back, relax and enjoy this straight to the point weapon guide. First one, we have the PW5A3. This gun is really that fits all kind of SMG. The reason it's made its way to this list is simple. It's the perfect balance between control, fire rate and overall reliability. A lot of people love it, and honestly it just doesn't disappoint you in almost any type of combat. For the main loadout, we're running a setup that keeps the gun fast, smooth and easy to control. Starting with the muzzle, we're going to use the CQB suppressor. This one gives you great recoil control without hurting your ADS or hipfire. For barrel, I would go with the extended barrel. This one gives you a nice clean transition into the ADS and improves consistency at mid-range. As far as the grip, I would go with the slim angled grip. This one adds recoil control and it speeds up your ADS accuracy. And for the laser, I would go with the green laser. This one gives better hip fire for those close range engagements. For mag, I would choose the 30 round fast mag since we have some points that we can spend on it. And finally, for perk, I would go with the mag catch. This one gives you faster reload speed, which always helps with the SMGs. I also have a second loadout you can use if you want to jump into a larger map, or something more open. So I would keep everything the same except for the CQB suppressor. I would switch it to the standard suppressor, and I would swap the slim angled grip for the CH64 vertical grip. This gives you even better vertical recoil control, and you can go to the 40 round mag as well because we have a little bit of extra points available. And for this build, you don't need a laser since you won't be relying on hipfire as much. And by the way, if you want to boost that hipfire control even more with SMGs in general, run the engineer class. It gives you a noticeable improvement in the hipfire. I would always run engineer with SMG. As far as the stats, the TTK is around 240 milliseconds up close and goes up all the way to 680 after 50 meters or so. And this gun fires at around 771 rounds per minute, which helps keeps the damage output consistent. As far as the mobility, it's kind of mid-tier but not bad at all. And for handling, like we mentioned earlier, it's #1 among all SMGs. Now keep in mind the damage is 25 and the drop off becomes noticeable beyond around 50 meters, which is expected for an SMG. Second one on the list is the SGX. This is a pretty versatile SMG with a TTK that actually beats the PW5A3. It actually starts at around 225 milliseconds, deals 25 of damage and fires at 830 rounds per minute, and also has some of the best recoil control in the SMG category, with the PW5 still holding the #1 spot in my opinion. Now this weapon can work in all kinds of environments and play styles, and here's the catch. It really needs very specific attachment setup depending on what you want to do. If you want a pure close range build, you need one set of attachments. If you want something that can stretch into mid-range, you basically need to rebuild it from the ground up. I tried a lot of different loadouts and honestly I struggled a little bit to find one single build that works for everything. So with that being said, the build that I have for you is focused purely on a close quarters combat, and in my opinion it's a pretty strong one. For the muzzle, we're going to go again with the CQB suppressor. This one gives you better hipfire and ADS mobility, which is huge for this gun. For the barrel, I would go with the fluted barrel, the lightest option. This one gives you faster movement and faster ADS transition. And for mag, I would go with the 36 round mag, and also I would add a green laser to it. And that's pretty much it. This loadout makes you just run, shoot and dominate the close quarters fights, which is exactly where the SGX performs the best when built this way. In my opinion, I don't think the SGX is meant for mid-range or long range. Alright, so the third one, we have the USG90, and this weapon is actually really good to use because of two things: the 50 round mag and also the higher fire rate, which sits at 900 rounds per minute. To be honest with you, the recoil on this gun is surprisingly consistent. It basically stays the same at all distances and throughout your entire firing cycle, which is actually really nice for an SMG that sprays this fast. Now the TTK starts at around 273, but it does fall off pretty sharply to around 400 at mid-range. The damage is only 20, and that's really the reason this gun isn't #1 on the list. But the amount of bullets you're throwing at enemies every second completely makes up for this lower damage in my opinion. You're just dumping rounds into players, and the consistency make it easier to track targets when you're holding down the trigger. Alright, let's talk about the loadout. For the muzzle, I would go with the CQB suppressor. This one keeps you off the map and gives you a nice close range handling boost like we mentioned earlier. As for barrel, I would go with the heavy extended barrel. This gives you better consistency when you're dumping all those 50 rounds. And since this gun has a lot of attachment points available, we can actually take advantage of that and use hollow point ammo. So if you land a headshot, the hollow point bonus kicks in and you'll drop your enemy extremely fast. And even if you don't land the headshot, it's not a big deal. Hollow point does not hurt you in the background. so there's really no downside to using it on this weapon. Having ammo that increases your headshot multiplier is a good advantage, especially on a gun with like 50 round mag and like a 900 round per minute fire rate. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with experimenting with other attachments on this gun. You could tweak it in a bunch of different ways depending on your playstyle, and it will still perform well because of like how good and stable the recoil is. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope these SMG builds help you dominate a little bit more in Season 1. And if you found it useful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and drop your thoughts and comments down below. I appreciate you all. Until the next one, cheers and have a good day.
Late night glow on the monitor light, ghost X grinding while the world sleeps tight. Controllers click like a heartbeat sound, building a kingdom where the lost get found.